Welcome back to Fantasy Turf War, the show where 64 teams go head-to-head to see who's the ultimate champion. I'm, of course, your Commissioner Cory, and I missed Tuesday night show because of a family emergency. So I want to first start off by saying I appreciate Matt and Lauren for holding it down. Looks like they had a lot of fun without me, and some jokes at my expense, which I'm fully okay with. And just wanted to get that out of the way. All is well, just had to take care of some things, and appreciate them continuing the show without me. So we are in the start of week 9 now, and there has been some crazy developments over this last week. We only have one undefeated team now. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Also, before we get started, I wanted to kind of introduce you to our new show format. We have gone into StreamYard, and we are building out that way. More as a redundancy than anything else, but lets us improve our graphics and the way we produce content and ultimately provide a better show for you all. So hopefully you like this new format. We also have this lovely scrolling ticker, which you may or may not want to pay attention to as the show goes on, because we'll have some information, maybe some bonus codes if you know, you know. And this is probably the way we're going to stay for a while, just because I like how it's been going, and excited to see where we're going to go to next. So we have a couple announcements. One, we're on all platforms: Rumble, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, pretty much you name it, we're out there at Fantasy Turf War. So make sure you give us a follow on those. We'd like to see the different faces on the different platforms, and it's exciting to see that the Twitter audience is about the same as our YouTube audience now, which is awesome. We have a contest. The contest ends tonight, so if you have not entered, please do so. We have bonus codes that may or may not be scrolling across the bottom of the screen throughout the show. If you have watched some of the previous shows, you'll know that those codes are out there. I looked at the analytics of it earlier, and we only have, I believe, 12 bonus codes that have been entered. And so they give you 100 extra points. And so if you're interested in winning a Christian McCaffrey full-size Beckett-certified helmet, it is sitting right behind me. You've got a few hours left to enter, so make sure you do. And I look forward to drawing the winners. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, depends on how much candy I have, I guess. But it should be exciting. We're excited to finally have our winners, and then we start a new contest tomorrow. So there's that. Oh, let's see other announcements. We have a new contest coming tomorrow. Spoiler alert. I don't even know if Matt and Lauren know yet, but that's there. Let's get into it. We have our week 9 updates, and so we'll just go ahead and hop right in. Let's talk about Division 1's results from the last week. And so you had Bam Bam losing to Lamb Chops 128.74 to 75.9. Magic Makers beating out Lefties 117.66 to 105.72. That's a century loss. You hate to see it. The Coach's Desk 130.86 Big Beard 94.66. Carswell Golf 114 to 82. General OGFL Teamer 124 beating out Teardown 86.96. Screaming Pomeranians 101.32. The Vibes even 75. Stat Daddies with a 136.68 against Jeff C and Avery C 127.8. That is a tough loss over the century mark in a close match. And then Lambeau Calrissian with a win over the Jive Turkeys. Jive needed that one to stay alive. Still alive, I think, but makes it a lot harder for him. So losing 104.42 to 92.20. Let's take a look at your ranks for week 9. Lamb Chops is sitting at number 1 still, followed by Carswell Golf, Stat Daddies, the Lefties, the Vibe, General OGFL, Screaming Pomeranians, Teardown, Magic Makers, Avery and Jeff C, the Coach's Desk, Big Beard, Lambeau Calrissian, Jive Turkeys, last place winner, and then Bam Bam sitting at the end there. And so if you've never watched before, the two on the top and the red on the bottom are significant, because the way we do Fantasy Turf Wars, we have 64 teams, 4 divisions of 16 each. Top 2 teams in each division get placed into a bracket. They get ranked, and then they have their playoffs that way. So you want to be in the top 2 in your division, so that's what your green is. And you also want to avoid being the bottom of the division, is what number 16 there is. So the loser in each division, rank 16, and then the overall loser are subject to what is called the ARC, and we'll get into that soon. Division 2, let's take a look at your results Who let the Service Dogs out, beating out Team Smooth 119-98 to 75-56. The Mystics losing 89-34 to Game Time Sports Network at 110-06. That's a team to watch for later on the show. Team Coco 151.86. That's a big score against Just Josh in 95-22. Lauren taking another loss. Even though you made the right call on Puka Nakua, still lost the match. So that's a tough one. Southside Stampede 121-54 to Full-Time Fantasy 87-72. Mark Manzella losing a century loss 102-70 to Shady Brady's 159.60. That's almost a record. The Ren Zone 110-30 losing to Sports Idiot Nation 113-54, another century loss. Strange Brew beating out Legit 132-66, 72-76. Influencing Win with a win 94-40 to 57-06. He needed that win. Let's take a look at your rankings. Who let the Service Dogs out to staying at number 1? Shady Brady's number 2. Strange Brew, Southside Stampede, The Mystics, Sports Idiot Nation, Mark Manzella, Team Smooth, Game Time Sports Network, Welker Home Peyton, Legit Sports Media, Team Coco, Full-Time Fantasy, Just Joshin, The Ren Zone, and sitting in last is Influencing a Win. But they did get a win, so maybe there's an up and up for them. Division 3, Gridiron Goddess against Marketing Happy Hour Madness. Gridiron Goddess winning 126-22 to 81. Dino Sports 110-60 to the Replacements 102-60. Brian coming into the league, putting up a good century loss there, but still a loss nonetheless. Yippee-ki-yay, Justin Tucker 98-12 to Rad Dad 129-54. Gorilla Camp 98-54 beating out Tank Latier 96-82. That was a big upset. Tank was sitting at number 2 undefeated for most of the season, but finally taking a loss. So congratulations on your success up to that point, Tank. Hopefully you can still make it into the playoffs, but Talon took it to you this week. Bevskins 105-54 to the Masterpieces 85-78. Blurry Sports beating out Big Nick's Energy. Tough loss there, 131-06, and a century loss, 125-88. Cup of Almond Ramen Noodles, 147-10, beating out Jordan Short by almost 100, over 100. Boba Sensei, 114-60, beating out Gilly's Gang, 82-18. Let's take a look at your rankings. Rad Dad, of course, sitting at top, undefeated, 8-0. Bevskins, followed by Tank Latier, Flurry Sports, Gorilla Camp, Boba Sensei, Yippee-ki-yay, Justin Tucker, Gridiron Goddess, Gilly's Gang, Cup of Almond Ramen Noodles, Dino Sport, The Masterpieces, Big Nick's Energy, Marketing Happy Hour Madness, The Replacement, and Jordan Short coming in last. And finally, but not least, Division 4, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader with a very tough loss against Downfield Reapers, 115-56 to 113-98. You were projected to win there for a little bit, kiddo, but was not in the cards. Cobra Kai beating out Bees in the Backfield, 105-84 to 96. I'm sorry, 90.06. Cupertino Deadites beating out Team Excitement, 94-50 to 54-44. Shiar Shugoths with a very, very tough loss, 141-26 to 147-30. So not only is it a century loss, but I think, you would have beaten any other team if it wasn't the Topeka City Troopers this week. Mike, welcome to the league. You are, I think you won 2 of your last games, 2 of your last 3, or 2 of 2. I forget now. It's been a while. But you are fitting nice and comfortably in the league. You do not need my help whatsoever. So congratulations on that, sir. Fantasy Couriers are the 161-38, almost a record, beating out Diamond Dog 74-40. Crush Crew against Team Ohana Rizzlers 98-87 to 72-42. Locked On Fantasy Baseball with a tough loss. Sorry, Matt. 88-94. Losing against the newcomer Cleveland Thunderbolts 117-70. Figment's Crew 125-24 to the Cardiacs 119-86. A century loss for Cardiacs, but a big win for Becky Mankin over at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. So congratulations on your win there, Becky. Let's take a look at your rankings. Fantasy Couriers podcast coming in at number 1, followed by Locked On Fantasy Baseball. You dropped the number 2. Team Ohana Rizzlers at 3. Bees in the Backfield 4. Downfield Reapers, Cobra Kai, Cupertino Deadites, Diamond Dogs, Topeka City Troopers, The Crush Crew, Shiar Shugoths, Figment's Crew, Cardiacs, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, Excitement, and Cleveland Thunderbolts in last place. But you have won this week, sir. So I think you're on a war path to be reckoned with. All right. So I say this every week. One of the favorite things about the 64 team league is that we have all these statistics and analytics that come out of it. So let's get into it. Season 1 points scored per division. Last week we had an all-time worst week ever for all of us in terms of points scored. We have rebounded nicely going into week 8. You can see that this is a record week for every single division. Average scores, so team points per the league. We usually say if you've got 100 points, you should expect to win. Of course, we've covered that that doesn't happen every week. This week was definitely an exception. The average score for a team was 107.19. All right, now breaking it down per division, divisions 1, 2, 3, 4. If you were in this division, if you had scored higher, again, it's the average is still below 100. You should or above 100. You should expect to win, but it is pretty high going into this week. So 99.818 was the high for Division 2. Average points per team as a league. So this was the average score all the way around. For this week was a 106.21. So pretty tough there. Highs and lows for the entire division. Sorry, for the entire league, broken down by division. Not much has changed here. Division 3 and 4 had some record weeks there in terms of points scored for them. So those have kind of averaged out for across the league. Still nothing crazy. No records were broken there, but you can see that they did jump up quite a bit. Total points as a league. So we shattered our previous record back in week 5 by about 300 points. So as a league, we've scored quite a bit this week, 67, 51, 26, which may be a record. We have one undefeated team left. That is Rad Dad, Dennis Tresca over at Rad Dad Networks. He is 8-0 and now is the single owner of the record of longest win streak at 8. And so we'll see how long he can keep that up. We have not had a team go into the playoffs undefeated before. Certainly have not had a team win undefeated. So this will be one for the record books if he can keep it going. Best of luck to you, sir. Speaking of records, we had a previous record of most points scored by division in a single week back in week 4 that was set by any given Sunday. Points were 16, 51, 42. That record is broken now because our new record is set by the Monarchs Division 4. 1721.62 is how much they put up this week. I'd also like to note that there were 2 other divisions that would have broken the previous record, even if the Monarchs had not. So that record was going to fall this week regardless. We also had another record set of most points scored by a league in a single week. Back in week 5, the 6488.74 was what we'd put up across the entire league. But if you notice from the previous slide, we broke that record. That is now 6797.52 set this week by all 4 divisions. So congratulations to the entire league. You broke your own record. And we have our best week ever set by Jay Harper over at Game Time Sports Network. He climbed 8 spots in the rankings this week, which is amazing to do. So congratulations to Jay. You are having the best week ever. And of course, we can't talk about the best week ever without talking about the worst week ever. Jesse Grund dropping 9 spots this week. So unfortunately, sir, you are having the worst week ever. But it is a new week, and hopefully this week is better for you. Let's get into the overall rankings. This is what everyone loves to see. All the new stats that we put in here as well. So just to quickly go over, you obviously have your ranking, your team name, your team record, the change in your ranking from last week, the points you have scored, and then the points that have been scored against you, points for, points against. So looking at the number 1 spot there, you've got Dennis Tresca, of course, undefeated, 8-0 and breaking the 1,000-point mark. Let's see. He is having also 814.92 points scored against him. So that is very, very high. It is beating everyone else in the top 8. So he is winning and winning justifiably, we'll say. Desmond Ardonia is climbing up 1 spot to the number 2. DJ Dove and JJ Wing climbing 5 spots all the way up to number 3 with 916 points scored. Charles Carswell climbing up 1 spot as well. Justin Davies, Kevin Beverly, Tank Latier falling all the way from number 2 down to number 7, so dropping 5 spots this week. And if you look at the points scored, it is starting to make more sense as to why he was really holding on to that undefeated title because of the matchups, and he is just not putting up the points compared to the other teams at the top here. But he is still in number 7 and very close to making the playoffs. So best of luck to you, sir. Congratulations on your success in having the 7-0 streak. That is very impressive. I think they say 2% of teams go into week 8 undefeated. So that is no small feat and should be celebrated. So congratulations to you. Cory Bassett, the first 6-2 team, he is coming in at number 8, 981 points scored. So take a comparison of that against the rest of the top 8 there. And just saying, if one of you fall off, he will jump if he's able to match that record. So keep that in mind. Moving on to 9-16, you have Zachary Brunner, Matthew Wane following 6 spots all the way down to 10. Sorry, Matt. Mike Lanza, Pastor Jack, Dan Brown Jr., Talon Van Horn with his major upset climbing 5 spots. Eric Arena, Jeffrey Demers. And before we leave this slide, just wanted to make sure everyone knows we did call it that Talon would beat Tank just because of the average points scored every week. It was significantly higher than Tank, and I didn't see any crazy upset to his roster. So I did expect him to win. We did call it here, so you heard it here first. But hey, look, we get to call our shots, and we celebrate our wins. So 17-24, Renee Neal, Joe Knight, Matthew Metzbauer, Teamer Terry, Casey Garcia, Alex Kaplan, Nichelle Halleck, and Zachary Fisher. So this slide, if you won and climbed up big. If you lost and lost big. So big shift here in the middle here. 25-32, T.I., Jonathan Mohan, Vegas Matty, Mark Manzella, Matt Josephs, Jesse Grund, Timothy Trilk, Michael Crystal, apologies for that, and Casey Woolley. All of you guys are 4-4. Some big changes there. And of course, you see Jesse Grund dropping 9 spots. That's what gave him the worst week ever. And yeah, let's keep going. 33-40. You have Michael Brick. Welcome to the league again, sir. Climbing 5 spots. Susan C. over at Gridiron Goddess. Jay Harper having his best week ever, climbing 8 spots. Chet Atkins, Katie and Jutt, Gilly Gilmartin, Ben Fisher, and then Avery and Jeff C. And then while we're here, we have our first asterisk. And so Michael Brick is one of the 3 teams that came in halfway through the season, relieving some of the inactive teams of their duties, so to speak. So he has come in and really started to clean shop. I think he's on a 2-game win streak. And part of the deal of him and the other 2 teams joining the league was that they would be exempt from punishment if they found themselves in the last place of their division. We didn't think it was fair that they would lose the division because of a team they inherited with all their wins and successes. And so they have been given that exemption. And also, if they so choose, an automatic invitation to next season so they can defend their honor. 41-48, Matthew Rummick, Becky Mankin coming off a win, climbing up 5 spots. Sean Petnati also climbing 5. Nick Nichols, Evan Team Coco, Cardiacs, Matthew Brannon, and Eric Lund. 49-56, Floyd Beard, Scott Habib, Lauren Hill. Lauren, you lost another one. 2-6, dropping 5 spots. Kurt Swilly, 2-6 as well. Lauren Kaler, Matt Brown, Sebastian Bassett, and Adam Marino. And you can see now our 56th ranked team is the first one to be showing as the front runner for a division loser category. 57-64. Here's the bottom tier. DJ Hall, Cassie Tucker, Julius Adams, Richard Falls, Brian Gobble, Dan Boyle, and Andy Schiffer and Jordan Short. And just noting there that Dan is coming from 64th all the way up to 62nd. He is on a tear as well. He has had some very close games since he came into the league. Both the new teams, Brian and Dan, are doing very well, and they know what they have a big task ahead of them, but I think they're going to pull it out. So keep it up, guys. The hardest record is right now Brian Gobble. You have had 929.64 points scored against you. So regardless of your successes, you've had the most points scored against you. So you have the biggest hill to climb in all the teams. Let's take a look at week 9 as matchups. That is a typo. I'm very tired. It's been a very long week. Had a lot of stuff going on in the family. So apologize for the typo there. It is week 9 all the way throughout. You have Andy Schiffer over at Big Andy Media going against Carswell. Casey Woolley and the Magic Makers against last place winner. Sean Petnati against the Vibe. We got this one early, our game of the week. Desmond Ordonez over at the Lamb Chops, 7-1, taking on Stat Daddy's Justin Davies, also 7-1. Both teams are putting up a significant amount of points. They are ranked 2 and 5, and so very difficult game there ahead of them. That is definitely one to watch, and our game of the week. Teamer Terry, General OGFL against Jeff C. Screaming Pomeranians against the Lefties. That should be a good one. Tear Down against Jive Turkeys. Big Beard against Lambo Calrissian. Both these teams need a win to help keep themselves out of the bottom there. Let's take a look at Division 2 any given Sunday. Who Let the Service Dogs Out and Legit Sports Media. Who Let the Service Dogs Out, trying to keep their record going and stay at the top of their division. Legit Sports Media is 3 and 5. Let's see if they can hold on to that. Alex Kaplan and the Mystics against Strange Brew, 6-2, 5-3. That should be a good one. Team Coco and Mark Manzella. Southside Stampede and Just Josh and Lauren Hill, you need a win to keep yourself out of the bottom contention. In Southside Stampede, looking for a win to get back into the division top tier contention there. I think you're one of 4 top 6-2 teams in that division trying to look for a win, find your way back up. The Ren Zone against Full Time Fantasy. Sports Idiot Nation against that is a typo. Game Time Sports Network. I have those photos reversed. That's a big apology on my part. Team Smooth, Timothy Trilk against Influencing a Win, Adam Marino. And Mike Lanza, another 6-2 team going against Welker Home Peyton, 4-4. Mike Lanza sitting at one of the top 2 teams in the division. Division 3, the Goats. You have Susan C. over Gridiron Goddess and Flurry Sports. Dino Sports against Rad Dad Network. Let's see if Dino Sports can knock Dennis Tresca off the throne, so to speak. Matt Josephs and Nick Nichols. So this is officially the longest 2 team names put together as a matchup. Yippee-ki-yay, Justin Tucker and Cup of Almond Ramen Noodles should also be a good match. Gorilla Camp coming off a major upset last week against Tank Latier against Mid Marketing Happy Hour, 6-2 Cassie Tucker going against Gorilla Camp 5-3. Whew, words are hard these days. Bebskins against Jordan Short. Jordan's looking to get off the bottom rung there and get back into contention for her league. Bebskins is trying to hold on to his division top spot. Scott Habib at the Masterpieces against Kurt Swillia, Big Nick's Energy. And Tank is looking to redeem himself against the Swamp Kings. Nichelle Halleck against Brian Gobble over at the Replacement. Brian has been putting up some points, but unfortunately has only gotten shown the door, so to speak. Let's see if he can rebound nicely. If there's a team that can really improve himself this year, I think it's going to be his. But he's going to have a tough challenge against Nichelle this week. She's very, very good. And, of course, Division 4, the Monarchs. Sebastian Bassett against the Cleveland Thunderbolts. This should be a very good one. The loser of this is going to probably put themselves in a very tough spot at the bottom of the division. The winner will hopefully hold on to being above. Cleveland, you have been putting up points as well. Since you entered the league, you have that exemption. So let's see if you're able to capitalize on your team and rightfully move out of last place. Casey Garcia over at Cobra Kai against Shiar Shugoths. Downfield Reapers against the Crush Crew. Dragon's Horde against Diamond Dogs. This should be a good one. Fantasy Couriers against Bees in the Backfield. Team Excitement against Team Ohana Rizzlers. And two of my most favorite people in the world, Matthew Ane over at Lockdown Fantasy Baseball and Becky Mankin at Figman's Crew, taking on each other. Should be a good one. Matt needs to redeem himself, but Becky's been on a tear these last couple of games, so we'll see. Team Cardiacs against Topeka City Troopers. Topeka is on, I believe, a 2-game win streak there, so that should be a very good one to watch. And that's it. So I also realized that I have lost my camera because technology is technology. So let me see if I can fix that in relatively short order. All right. Well, that sucks. So it looks like my camera went down. I'll have to replace that guy. There we go. Got it back. All right. That's going to do it for this week. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. Who do you think is in the best spot to win in the playoffs or even make the playoffs? Who do you think is going to end up with the arc? I've got my predictions. I'm going to share those later today. Remember, we've only got a few hours left on the contest. So if you have not entered, make sure you go to the link in the description. You only have a few hours left. The contest closes automatically 11:59. I can't do anything about that. The promo code has been circling on the ticker on the bottom of the entire show. So there's an extra 100 entries. If you're looking for some bonus entries, then you've missed some of the previous shows. I recommend either reaching out to Lauren or Matt. I will not be a party to helping you get those codes. But if you reach out to them, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to help you out. And if you wanted to go find them yourself, I would take a look at the live shows on Tuesday nights, which we do every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. We also cross-stream to Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, pretty much you name it, it's there. But I look forward to seeing you all in the next week, and best of luck to you. And of course, until next time, be kind to each other, be excellent, and know that you are loved. And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.